All right. So tonight I want to talk about something that I'm so excited about and I'm really passionate about because I feel like this is what so many coaches keeps so many coaches from hitting their full potential. And I don't know about you guys, but I have always had a problem with analysis paralysis or perfectionism or it not being the right time. So I'm going to wait until this is perfect, or I'm going to wait until I have all the information, or I'm going to wait because it's not where I want it to be. And unfortunately for a lot of us, waiting ends up becoming stalling, and that ends up becoming not doing anything. So tonight I want to give you guys some practical tips. I also want to talk about the dreamers versus doers because there's a big difference. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to screen share my my slides really quick. Can you guys see that? Thumbs up if you can see it. Yes? Good. Perfect. Okay. So last week, most of you guys, some of my coaches aren't on my team call, but last week I did a giveaway for, I did like a drawing for all my coaches that came. And by the way, I know that Laura has her team calls on Monday nights, but this is always available for our entire downline. So if you are on Laura's call, go to her call, obviously, but anybody who does not have a team call personally that they're going to on Monday nights, for the next, we do like 6 weeks of team training, and then we take 1 week off, and that week off that we take off is a coaching opportunity call. So we'll do 6 weeks of training, and then we'll take 1 week off, and I'll host a coaching opportunity call that you can invite people to. That's kind of what we've been doing, and that has worked well. So we're going to keep doing that. But next week we have Laura Bazell that's going to actually be leading our team call, which is so exciting. We're going to join forces with her team, and she'll be leading our team call next week. But last week we did we had like a drawing for one of the coaches that were on the team call last week. And so I went back through and I did like a random name, put it in a random name generator that's online. And the winner for last week's prize that I'm going to send to them was Amanda Ryder. And I don't know if she's on here yet. She's going to be a little bit late. But anyway, so she's the winner. So I'm going to send her a gift in the mail. So occasionally I like to do just giveaways, random stuff for people who come to the team calls. So keep looking out for that. Okay. So let's talk about dreamers versus doers. So tonight I want to talk about dreamer versus doer. And I want you to put yourself in one of those two categories. So do you feel like you are a 30,000 foot viewer of your business? Do you think you kind of are like a visionary? Do you feel like you start things but have a hard time finishing? Do you feel like you have super great potential and you show up to team calls and you're super motivated, but nothing really goes past that? Or do you feel like you have no issues with starting? You are a great starter and you are a great finisher. Whatever you set out to do, you end up accomplishing. You have realistic expectations of your tasks that are in front of you, that are ahead of you, and you meet them, you hit them, or you attempt to. And sometimes you may not always succeed at whatever it is that you want to do, but at least you do it and you don't fail. So I want you to kind of think about what category are you in. So one of the best books that I ever read, and actually a lot of the information I'm going to be talking to you guys about tonight is from a book from John Acuff, and it's called Start. So if you put yourself in the category of a dreamer, but you're not necessarily a doer, I want you to read that book. It's called Start. And it's basically talks about what that is. It means you're going to actually start and do what you have set out to do. So here's a secret. Let me tell you the secret about dreamers versus doers. You need both. You have to have, you have to be in both categories. You have to have both of those to be able to succeed. And just going through and looking at some articles that I was reading about dreamers and doers, sometimes most successful people are more so one than the other. And that is why it is so important to surround yourself with people that are the opposite of you. So for instance, say you are a dreamer, but you have a hard time completing a task, or you have a hard time finishing something. You need to surround yourself with doers. You need to surround yourself with people who get the job done, who are hitting Success Club, who are signing up challengers, who are onboarding coaches, who are doing team calls or whatever. You've got to surround yourself with people that are doers. Now, you may be a doer, but have a really hard time with planting your vision, with figuring out what your vision is for your life, maybe for your team. Maybe you have a hard time sitting there drawing up a dream board because you have no idea where to even start, but you don't have any problems with actually completing a task. So I like this quote that I found today. It's called, "The world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do." So moving forward through our call tonight, I want you to put yourself in one of those two categories. I really want to talk about this quote really quick. It's called, I can't really see what I wrote. I don't know why that's fuzzy to me. Okay. Entrepreneurship is not about what you did yesterday or about what you did last week, nor is it about what you did last month. It's about what you're going to do now and what you're going to do tomorrow. That's the difference between a doer and a thinker, or a doer and a dreamer. And so you can put your label on yourself and say, well, I've been a coach for a year, or I've been a coach for 6 months, and I've never hit Success Club, or I've never had a team, or I'm not Emerald, or whatever. You can think all day long about yesterday and the past and what has not happened for you, but it's not about that anymore. The only thing you can control from now forward is where you're going from now on. So it is about what you're going to do now. Are you going to implement anything that you've learned tonight on tonight's team call, or are you going to sit there and have all this awesome knowledge and not do anything with it? Okay, so I'm going to talk about really quick the strengths of a dreamer. So maybe you're a dreamer. Maybe this is you. Maybe you can put yourself in that category. The dreamer is a visionary. They have vision. They know where they're going. They know where they want to go. They also have possibilities. So the sky is the limit to them. They see 6 months down the road, a year down the road. They have inspiration. So they're constantly thinking of new things to implement within their team, or within or maybe even just like posting. They have new ideas, new challenge group ideas. They have a ton of potential. They've got so much knowledge about what they want and where they want to go. But let me tell you weaknesses of a dreamer. Weaknesses of a dreamer is the lack of follow through. So maybe if you're a dreamer, maybe you have not really followed through with anything that you've said you were going to do. Maybe you waste time doing things that are not business building activities. Maybe you spend a lot of time just scrolling through Facebook. Maybe you spend a lot of time waiting to see what people post or what people comment on your newsfeed. Maybe you have unfinished products or projects, like you've got a list of things that you've wanted to get done and none of them have gotten done. Maybe you're super, super stressed out because your to-do list is a mile long, but nothing ever gets accomplished. Maybe you under-deliver and you're over-promising. So maybe you have really just kind of like made yourself super thin by saying that you can do, but you're stressed out because none of that is actually possible. So the problem is dreaming doesn't do anything other than allow you to engage the possibilities of the future. So think about it. There's nothing tangible about dreaming. Dreaming is like what these words are: vision, possibility, inspiration, potential. None of those are things that you can actually hold on to and do. Somebody talking. Hold on. Did somebody say something? I can't see my... Oh, wait. Perfect. Okay, Jen, that's you. That's me too. That was me too. I'm trying to not do that anymore, but I definitely have the same. I'm definitely a dreamer for sure. Okay, so sadly, this is the sad part. You have to be a dreamer in order to be able to put your foot forward and to be able to do, but nothing ever comes out of just dreaming. Because what happens is your life passes you by, your opportunities pass you by, the reason that you signed up in the first place continues to just be a reason that you signed up. Nothing else happens out of dreaming. And then you look at your year into coaching or 2 years into coaching, and you're at the same place that you were when you first signed up. That is what a dreamer is. A dreamer does nothing but just dream of the possibilities. So tonight I want to talk about how we can get out of just the dreaming state. Maybe you're stuck in the dreaming state and you can't seem to get out of it. So I want to talk about how we can continue to move forward out of just being a dreamer. So let's keep going. Let's talk about the strengths of a doer. So I can consider doers, people that write books, people that do webinars, people that do trainings. Those are all people that I feel like are doers. So let's talk about the strengths of a doer. Productivity. They are producing stuff. They are doing. They are productive in their time. They're productive in their daily activities. The second one is focus. So they have focused time where they are finishing a project. They are working on something and they're focused. They're not being distracted. They're not getting every 5 seconds they're on to something else, or they're moving on to something else. They are focused on the task at hand. Maybe it's writing a blog. They are going to start the blog, and by the time that their timer runs out or their time is up, their blog is finished and they're done. They've produced it. They track their progress. They see results. So maybe seeing results is, when you actually do something, you get results from that. They also have balance in life. And I say that lightly because I don't necessarily believe that there's ever balance in life. I feel like there are seasons of life where you'll never have balance. I love what John Maxwell says. He says there's always going to be times of hustle and there's going to be times of retreat. And during those times, nothing's in balance. So when you're in a time of hustle in your business, I should say, there's going to be things that have to be put on the back burner. Possibly cleaning, possibly laundry, possibly watching your favorite TV show. There's things that are going to be out of balance, and that's okay. I think what makes me as a mom crazy is when I feel like my life is supposed to be in balance, because I get very stressed out when I feel like I'm having to make sure that my life is balanced, and that's not necessarily the case. If you're a mom, you realize that there's times when your life's not going to be in balance, and there's times that your life is crazy and chaotic and you're not getting anything done. And that's just life. And that's how our business goes. So let's talk about how can this relate to you? How can this relate to you in your business? If you want to become a doer, let's talk about how this can relate to you in your business. Okay, first of all, productivity. This could possibly mean uninterrupted work hours. So if you just wake up one day and you say, I hope to get some work done today. I hope to find some time to move my business forward. I hope that I can do my power hour. If you are hoping that that works out, how does that work out for you? Let's just be honest. How does hoping that you get your workout done at some point work out for you? Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest. I woke up this morning super late because my son had a fever, and I normally get up at between 3:30 and 4 to get my workout done and all that stuff. So my son had a fever, so I stayed in his room last night to make sure he was going to be okay. And I ended up getting up at 6:30. Now, I said to myself, man, I hope I can get my workout done today. And guess what? 9:20 at nighttime, and I haven't done it yet. And I have to still do it before I go to bed. So as you can see, when I say that I hope to get something done, it usually is put off to the very last second. So productivity means uninterrupted work hours. It means setting aside time where you are going to say, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I am working, and nothing is going to interfere with that. So if you don't have work hours, that needs to be something that you immediately figure out. So whether you need to sit down with your spouse and talk about what your work hours look like, whether you need to figure out how you're going to prioritize your night. Maybe you watch 3 hours of a show at nighttime when an hour and a half of that can be working on your power hour or finishing your workout or whatever. So I was always told that anytime you set work hours, for instance, because we work for ourselves, it's very easy to put it off and just say, well, we'll do it later. But when we set work hours, pretend like that is your boss coming to you and saying, you have no choice but to work from 1 to 2:30, like you said you were going to. And it is a meeting that you cannot cancel. Those hours are something that you stick with no matter what. No matter what. Okay, so let's move on. Focus. What could that look like for you in your business? Well, it can mean turning off your Facebook notifications, turning off your phone, silencing your phone, and stop answering your messages. So maybe you're guilty of this. The first time that somebody messages you back, do you usually answer it right away? Like you see it and you answer it right away. Does anybody do that? So some of the best advice that Brittany Leggett ever gave me when I first became a diamond is she told me, she goes, don't answer your messages right away. Pick 1 or 2 times a day that you answer all your messages. But when you seem so available to people, it almost makes it seem like you are, what's the word? Yes, somebody said it. I don't know what you said, but I heard it. It almost makes it seem like you're desperate. Makes it seem like you're, what?
You're hungry. You want it.
Exactly. Like you have been waiting around for them to answer you all night long, and you're on the edge of your seat, and the second they message you, you message them back. So what she told us to do was that you don't message them back right away. You don't even read it. You see that they messaged you, and that's awesome. But you only check your messages twice a day. And that's exactly what I do, unless it's a coach that's saying, help, I need help right now because I'm about to sign up a coach. I don't know what I'm doing. Or it's something like that, something that seems like it's urgent. So let's talk about tracking progress. So we're talking about how doing can relate to you. Now, I do not want to see a show of hands, but I do want to know how many of you guys track your progress every single week. Now, this is what I'm going to challenge you with. I'm going to challenge you to pick a tracker, and I want you to stick with it for 6 weeks. Now, if you're anything like me, you move around from tracker to tracker to tracker to think, oh, maybe this one's better, or oh, maybe this one's better. They're all about the same, but they all probably look a slight bit different. You can make up your own tracker for all I care, whatever you want to do, but pick one and stick with it, because honestly, it's probably not the tracker that's the problem. It's probably you not tracking that's the problem. Okay? So if you are like, oh man, this tracker stinks. Okay, are you really tracking then? Or are you just not tracking and it's not working? You have to do the system in order for the system to work. You can't just not do the system and then blame it on the system, because it's not the system that's not working. You're not doing it. Okay, sorry. Just needed to get that off my chest. So let's talk about results. So people that do, they are the ones that are seeing results. So if you're a doer, that means that you are actually doing business building activities that are moving your business forward, such as your power hour. And inside your power hour is engaging in conversations and inviting people to join your challenge group. Therefore, you're seeing results. Also, are you doing a program and sticking with it, or are you cheating on your program? For instance, it's going to be really hard for somebody to follow your results if you are playing whack-a-mole with your programs every day. Okay? So one day you're doing one thing, and the next day you're doing the next thing, and the next thing you're doing the next thing. And by the end of, a month or so, you're going to say, well, I don't really know how I got these results because I did different programs all the time. So you need to figure out what your program of choice is going to be, and you need to stick with it. The last thing is balance in life. And I kind of hit on that already, but basically that is just freedom. That is freedom. So people who are doers end up having freedom, you guys. They end up having freedom from their job that they can't stand, from waking up early, having to drop their kids off at daycare, from having to watch their husband travel all the time. They're able to bring them home from the job that they are gone all the time. You're able to go on family vacations. What does that freedom look like to you? And it's the doers that see that. It's doers that actually are able to embrace that freedom and actually live out that freedom. So that's what we're here. That's what we're talking about tonight, you guys, is taking you away from not just dreaming, but actually doing. Okay. So how can we become more of a doer? Let's talk about it. First of all, you need to write down your goals and you need to set a deadline. Not only that, you need to tell your success partner to check in with you. So there's a couple things we can talk about here. First of all, writing down your goal. Now, your goal needs to be something that you know that you can hit, something that you know that you're going to work towards, not just something that's like, I want to be debt-free one day. Now, that is definitely a goal that you need to write down. I'm talking about these small goals that are going to get you there. If you're not Emerald yet, maybe it's becoming Emerald. If you've never hit Success Club before, maybe it's hitting Success Club. If you have been a diamond for 5 months or 6 months or 10 months or 4 years, maybe it's equipping your team to do exactly what you did to get to diamond themselves. It's helping them get to the next step. So it is write down your goal, give it a deadline, and then tell your Success Club partner to check in with you. If you don't have a Success Club partner, your coach can find you one. Or maybe you know of somebody that you would like to ask. Either way, every single person should have somebody that's holding them accountable. Because otherwise, most likely, that goal won't get accomplished because you're not being held accountable for it. Okay. Number 2, you have got to stop doing what does not work. Whatever it is in your business that you have been beating over the head all the time, it's not working. You need to try a different approach. So basically, you need to stop what you're doing, back up and regroup, and try a different approach. So whatever that looks like for you. And I think every one of y'all know, okay, is this working? Is this helping me hit Success Club? Is this helping me get to the next level? Or is it not working? Maybe it's changing up your challenge groups. Maybe it is learning how to overcome objections better. Maybe it's having conversations behind the scenes that you need to become better at. Now, listen, you guys, the training website that I came up with, that I collaborated with a bunch of different leaders that had kind of put their own spin on things, is up and running, and it's for you guys to use. So if you have like no idea what to say to somebody after they tell you they have no money to buy Shakeology, you need to go on that website and figure out how to talk to people. Don't just say, oh, okay, well, no problem. Well, you just let me know when you have money. That's not being proactive. Let's figure out how you can help them. Figure out what it is that you can say to them that doesn't make you sound like you were just looking for a sale. That means you truly, truly want to help them and you want to see them in your group. That's what I want you to do. So use that training website to help you. Okay, let's keep going. Number 3, last one. All right, so if you, your daily activities must change. The daily things that you're doing must change if you want to see those goals being hit. So if you are wanting so bad to hit Emerald, you cannot be doing what you've been doing the past 4 months that you have wanted to hit Emerald. Wanting to hit Emerald and actually doing things to hit Emerald are very different. You have to focus on what is going to get you to Emerald. And what is that going to be? If you want to be Emerald, what's going to get you to Emerald? You're going to have to start having conversations with people about joining your team. That's what you're going to have to do. So your daily habits, your daily activities have to change, and they have to focus on what your goal is. If you have wanted to hit Success Club, but you have 0 conversations with people every day about joining your challenge group, then you have got to start having conversations with people about joining your challenge group. That's what that daily activity is that you have to do now that has to change. It has to be different. And you know what, you guys? That is going to be uncomfortable at first. It's going to be weird. You're going to have to change what you've done. You're going to have to get out of your shell a little bit. But that's okay, because that's where the growth happens. And the more conversations you have with people, the easier that those activities are going to become for you. All right. I will type the website in, Cindy. I will type that website in just a second for you guys, and you guys can go to it. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so let's get to the root of the reason why we probably are dreamers instead of doers. Let's get down to the bottom line. Usually, the reason that we are dreamers and not necessarily doers is probably because of fear. We are so scared to fail. We're scared that it's not going to work. So this quote, I loved it. It says, without knowing how to fail, it is impossible to succeed. Let me read that again. Without knowing how to fail, it's impossible to succeed. And only one thing will work. And that is to start. You have to start failing. And you are given permission to fail in this business. You are. You've got to allow yourself to fail. Because without failing, it means you're not starting. It means you haven't started. It means you're not doing. So give yourself the permission to fail forward, continue to learn from what you've done, and move past it. You guys are going to be rock stars, seriously. Okay. I decided to add this slide at the last minute because I thought it was awesome. And it was something it was from a team call that Bonnie Engel and oh my goodness, I just totally forgot her name. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Holy cow.
Raina?
Yes, Raina Odell. Raina Odell. So they did a team call, and And so they were talking, the team call was on recruiting. And Raina and Bonnie both had put this slide up there, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it was shared in our Diamond group. But they said, the slide says, if they say no to you, if somebody says no to you, you lose nothing. If they say yes, you gain what? You gain a best friend. You gain a workout buddy. You gain a top coach. You gain a motivator. You gain a possible business builder. You gain a community, and you gain a family. Think about if you would have never said yes to this opportunity, you would not have met all these amazing people that are on this call right now. Think about that, you guys. How many more Facebook friends do you have now than you did when you first started coaching? And let me tell you something. The best part is being able to meet those people that you've never met before, and to be able to just it's a reunion. It is seriously the best thing that's ever happened to me, is meeting people that I have worked with for the past however long that I've never met before in person. So another thing that they had said on that team call was but it's like being asked to play blackjack. So we're talking about recruiting still. So it's being asked to play blackjack. If you're not a gambler, it might not interest you, and you may say no initially. So yeah, that's kind of like, I'm not a gambler, and if somebody asked me to gamble, I'd be like, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Because I'm not going to be good at it, and I'm going to lose all my money. That's dumb. But if you were asked to play blackjack, where if you lose nothing, but if you win double, what would you put in? What would you put in if not more? You would say yes. So you would 100% probably say yes, because if you lost nothing. You lost nothing. But if you win, you possibly gain a brand new leader on your team. You possibly have the opportunity of seeing somebody's life be changed because of this company. You gain a friendship for life. And then everybody that they tell about this opportunity is just, it's so fulfilling to be able to say you were a part of something like that. Golly, you guys, it gets me so excited. Recruiting is the same way. You may not want to do it at first because it's scary. But if you change your mindset and you realize that if you ask and they say no, you have lost nothing. But if you ask and they say yes, you gain a best friend, a possible top coach, a community of fellow business builders, a motivator, and you also gain a family, because they bring people with them. In this business, if they are a lover of this company, they're going to tell everybody about it. And that is what you gain, you guys. That's what you gain when you're not afraid to do and you move yourself forward and you get out of your own way. I read this quote the other day and I thought it was awesome. The greats weren't great because they could paint. The greats were great because they paint a lot. I love that. Think about it. The greats weren't great because they could paint. So you don't just you aren't born just to be amazing at painting. You're probably decent, but the greats were great because they paint a lot. How can you intertwine this quote in your business? So you become great because you what? Because you are scared to talk to people? It's okay to be scared to talk to people. But you became great because you what? Fill in the blank. What does that look like for you in your business? It might be different for every single person, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. What does that look like for you? You were great because you what? Okay, so last slide, and then I'll answer any questions that you have, but this is your call to action, and it's scary, you guys. So here we go. You ready? This is your call to action. This is what you're going to do. I want you to pick, every one of you guys have a goal that you have thought about that's been kind of like a cloud over your head that you have been wanting to accomplish. What is that goal? And I want you to set an end date to it. You've got to say, this is when I'm going to accomplish this. And then I want you to post it in the More Than Conquerors team page. And then I want you to tag an accountability partner, somebody that's going to ask you about it before that date comes. Somebody that's going to say, okay, Jacqueline, you said you were going to be whatever in a week. What have you done? That's what I want you guys to do. Accountability is key, just like it is in our challenge groups. Why do we have challenge groups? Because if people had no accountability, then everybody would start a program and never finish it. So this is your call to action, you guys. You all have a goal in mind. You all have something that you want to accomplish. Instead of just dreaming, instead of us being dreamers, tonight we're going to be doers. And by being doers, we are going to set an end date to our goal. Not only that, we're going to post about it. We're going to tag somebody about it. And then what? When you get off this call, it's not like, oh, yay, I set my goal. Now I can just keep doing exactly what I was doing. No, you can't. What that means is now you have to say, okay, what I do tomorrow has to look different than what I did today. If I'm trying to reach this goal, what I do tomorrow has got to look different. What am I going to do? Listen to me, you guys. If your goal is to hit Emerald, you have to have conversations with people about joining your team. You can't just hope people come to you. You have to go and do it. And we are all here to scream and to root for you in your corner because we know that you can do it. And I cannot wait to celebrate with every single one of you guys because tonight you put your foot in the sand and you decided that you were going to do something about it. Instead of hoping for it, you were going to be a doer. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. I know that every single one of you guys have got so much potential, but I don't want you to stay where you are. All of us are rooting for you. We want you to move yourself forward. So that is your call to action. So wherever you want to post it, More Than Conquerors page or your coach's page, wherever it is, but make sure that you tag somebody so that they know that they have to hold you accountable. And you guys, hold them accountable. Hold your friend accountable. If you don't have a partner or a success partner or somebody to talk to, then make sure that you ask your coach to help you find somebody because that's what makes all the difference in the world. So just so y'all know that website that our team training is on is Jessica Laughter, one word, my name. I'm going to type it here. .squarespace.com. Password is Anchor. And it's for our entire downline. You guys can use that. There is actually tabs on there that say objections. There's tabs on there that say scripts that show you exactly what you should say to people when you're talking to them about the coaching opportunity. And it helps you to kind of come up with your own wording. So you just make it sound like you. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. Does anybody have any questions or does anybody have anything that they want to say or add to what I talked about? Anybody? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna let's see.